Hi everyone, I'm Kelsie and welcome back to my channel, Connecting with Spirit. In today's video, I am going to be doing an energy forecast for the month of February 2025. Just gonna tune into the energy and see what we need to know as a collective, or if there's any energy that we need to be aware of, the usual sort of stuff if you watched any of my other videos on this. So I'm just going to connect into the energy with my healing team of light. I'm going to ask my healing team of light just to connect me into the energy of February 2025. Connect me in please. Thank you. And asking that question, what do we as a collective need to know or be aware of for the month of February 2025, please? Okay, first thing I'm hearing is the energy is very much about financial independence. So if this has been your intention for a very long time, it's looking likely that it's going to manifest this month for you. You are going to be financially independent in a way that looks best for you, or in a way that you've been envisioning for yourself to manifest, that sort of thing. It looks like it's on the cards for you this month, which is amazing, because I know how hard that is if you've been working diligently towards that, but it seems like all your hard work is going to pay off this month, and you'll finally manifest that financial independence, which is amazing. Thank you. So second I'm hearing is about conscious connections. So this is like making friends, or maybe choosing your own founded family yourself, and you're doing it in a way that you haven't done before, like you're really conscious about it now. You might have a specific set of criteria for yourself. So just as an example, say you only want connections now that are based on love. You only want connections that, you know, give the energy back to you that you put in. So there's like, it's the energy flows. It's reciprocal. It's not like a one-way street where you're giving, and the other person is taking. It's more of a flow where you put the energy out and you get the energy back, and it's really reciprocal like that. It depends on what your criteria is, but it feels like you have sat down and you have said to yourself, okay, I am absolutely done with those old connections that have been draining me, that were based on another energy that wasn't love. These connections that weren't reciprocal. Maybe they were like frenemies. On the surface, they appeared to be your friend, but they were talking about you behind your back. These sorts of things. It just feels like things have happened to you, and as a result you have reevaluated certain things, and now you maybe have a list, a standard now, that you will hold other people against, or a criteria of what you are actually looking for in a relationship, in a friendship, in like your own, if you're choosing your own family, that you are going to consciously look for in other people. And if those other people don't meet the base criteria, then you'll be like, okay, thanks very much, but I'm looking for something else. So you're just being very conscious about it, and I do feel it's a lot coming from your heart now, that you might be looking for those connections that are based of love now, that are of a higher vibration, as I said, that they're more reciprocal, and you're just being more conscious about it. And it does feel like in February that some people uh, that you meet will be those connections that you've been looking for, perhaps for a very long time. And I'm hearing the word serendipity. So it'll just be kind of like you're at the right place at the right time to make those connections. You mightn't even have to put any effort into it. It'll just be based on your intuition. Maybe your intuition will tell you to go to a certain place at a certain time, and you go end up bumping into someone and you become lifelong friends. This sort of thing is what I'm feeling. You'll just be at the right place at the right time to meet this person, and it'll be a very conscious connection. It'll be quite high vibrational, and they'll be kind of, I'm hearing like an answer to a prayer almost. So you might have been setting intentions, you might have been praying for a friend, a relationship, family, whatever it might be, and it's almost like the universe or spirit or God is going to send you this person. And for a lot of you, you'll be making that connection this month. Ooh, it feels so good. Okay, excuse me. Thank you. What else, Spirit? So I'm hearing the words light language and like developing psychic gifts. So for some of you, you might be awakening or having an activation for your own light language. If you're not sure what light language is, I did a wee video on it, and I'm just going to pop that down in the caption so you can have a look at that. So yeah, for some of you, it feels like this gift is going to be coming online, or maybe you'll do a course in it, you'll feel drawn, your intuition will be like, oh yeah, do that course. And it's during that course that your language becomes activated, or you become aware of light language, or something happens. Maybe you're very spiritual and you're connecting with spirit, and spirit themselves will come to you. It might be galactic energies, and they might just give you that initiation, that activation, and that opens the light language for you, and you start developing that gift. And if it's not light language, it feels like there is some sort of psychic gift that's going to be awoken within you and coming back online, whatever the case may be for you. So it might be visions. It might be like foresights, precognitive dreams, let's say, where at night you have just a dream, and it's then a few months later it comes true, this sort of thing. Or it could just be during the day you have a sense, you get a bit of a feeling, and then that feeling comes true, you get information or whatever like that. But yeah, there are many different psychic gifts, even telepathy. Cognizance, which is quite like that. You just get that feeling, that knowing. Then feelings, even with tarot, connecting in with spirit. So it just feels like there is some sort of psychic gift being awoken again within you, that you're going to become aware of. You're going to become aware of it, and then in the process develop it, so you get really, really good at whatever this psychic gift is. So yeah, that seems really exciting, either light language or a psychic gift, or maybe even both, depending on your circumstances and where you are at. Thank you. So I'm hearing there is some shadow work to be done this month. I'm hearing the major themes are abandonment and betrayal. Old wounds coming up to be looked at, healed and cleared. I'm feeling it very much around the heart. It feels quite painful and also at the back of the heart, so kind of in between the shoulder blades. If you're feeling any sort of pain or pressure in the chest area, or like I said, at the back between your shoulder blades, this could be indicative of that wound becoming active. So to just be aware if you get triggered and that wound is activated for you this month, to be aware. It's kind of, how shall I put this? I did an Instagram video about this where I talked about an essential skill that you need on your healing journey, that I feel is essential anyway, and it's about regulating your emotions in your nervous system. So this is something to really be aware of when you get triggered and activated, is to notice when this happens, when you get into a state of dysregulation. To firstly notice and say, okay, this is what's happening, and then second, to bring yourself back into a state of regulation. If you want to check that mini video out I did on my Instagram, please do have a look. It's linked down in the caption. But yeah, exactly like I said, notice it and then bring yourself back into a state of regulation, which there are many different ways to do that. The one I always talk about is heart breathing, just coming back into your heart and breathing from there. But there are many different ways to do this. It's just a matter of finding the one that works best for you. I'll link the heart breathing down in the captions as well. But to just be aware if those wounds come up, to sit with it, to sit with yourself and to feel that energy fully, which sometimes is easier said than done because it can be absolutely painful. And from what I am feeling right now, tuning into the energy, it does feel really heavy, very much like heartbreak, almost like a knife going into your chest with the betrayal. A lot of grief as well, these sorts of feelings, being stabbed in the back. Yes, very, very heavy energies to work through, sadness, loss, feeling loneliness, aloneness. These sorts of things might come up for you during this month. To sit with them and to firstly identify what those emotions are. Say if it's heartbreak, to sit with that, to feel the heartbreak, and to pretty much talk to the heartbreak. So to just ask the heartbreak, like, why am I heartbroken? What's this heartbreak about? And to listen for the answer. And this is how you process out the energy. You talk to it. We first become aware of it and identify what the emotion is, and then ask it, what's the heartbreak about? Why am I heartbroken? This sort of thing. And you'll know when you receive the answer, because generally when you process it out and you've received the message that emotion has tried to convey, you'll feel it go. You'll feel the heartbreak go. And sometimes in the case of heartbreak as well, you might need some further work like healing. So you might have to call in your healing team of light, or just go into yourself, sit with yourself and ask yourself what's the best way for you to heal your heartbreak, because it might, again, look different for everyone. I work with the angels, so my go-to is to just call in the angels and ask them to heal my heartbreak. Once I have acknowledged and processed that energy out, only then can the heartbreak then be healed or mended or whatever needs to be done. So similar with other emotions that might come up, again, doing that hard work of sitting with them, just acknowledging them, processing them out and feeling that energy go. So you clear that energy from your energy system until you get down to that wound. Again, that wound will need like healing or repairing. And it just depends on what way you want to go about that. Like I said, I would just ask the angels, but you might have a different technique that you do. You might do Reiki, Rahani, pendulum, some other healing modality that you like to do for yourself. But like I said, just tune in and ask yourself what's the best way to deal with it. Just bringing your awareness or your attention to those major themes that will come up, betrayal and abandonment wounds this month. So do be on the lookout and take care of yourself when they come up, and just be really gentle with yourself, giving yourself a lot of tender love and care, because it feels like it'll be tough energies to work through this month. Thank you. Oh, and the last message also is, if you are feeling those energies are overwhelming, they're just they're quite difficult anyway, but you feel like you need support, do seek the support that's best for you. If it's reaching out to a trusted friend to have a chat, if it's going to the psychologist or a counselor or an energy healer, whoever it is that you feel drawn to, because it just feels like you might need to get something off your chest, and part of the healing process is speaking about whatever it is that's happened, to kind of process that energy, get the energy off your chest. And I'm just feeling like for some of you, it feels like a burden, and when you share it, it's like someone else helps you to carry that load with you. It takes a load off, a weight off your shoulders. So yeah, another thing to bear in mind, if you do need support, do reach out to that trusted person to help you with whatever it is that comes up for you. Thank you. Okay, I'm also hearing in relation to the abandonment that it's not just about other people like abandoning you. It could also be in relation to you abandoning yourself for some reason. That there is maybe an aspect of yourself that you had to abandon, depending on how you grew up. In order to survive, in order to protect yourself, maybe you had to abandon a certain part of yourself. It feels like that sort of energy. You might have had to disconnect from it, these sorts of things. So that might come up, to just be aware of that, that it might not necessarily be someone else abandoning you, but it might be in relation to you abandoning a part of yourself, and to have a look at that. It could be in relation to your inner child, could be in relation to a different aspect of your soul. But yeah, it's just something to be aware of, that can also show up in relation to abandonment. Again, I'm feeling it very much around the heart. I am feeling a little bit of inner child sort of stuff and soul aspect sort of stuff as well. So it might be to do with repairing your relationship with yourself, and just going through that healing process. And again, sitting with yourself, connecting in with yourself, and just hearing yourself out, that aspect of yourself that has felt abandoned, and what that aspect has to say. It seems like there's a lot of information and messages there for you in relation to that, and that will bring on a healing process for you. Ooh, thank you. Excuse me, processing here as we go, or clearing energy. I tend to burp whenever I'm clearing energy. So the other message I was hearing was emotional stability, particularly if you're on a healing journey on the ascension path. You might have felt like emotionally you've been all over the shop, that it's just been absolutely chaotic. The energies, high vibrational energies, have been streaming in. There's been solar flares. You've been hit every which way with energy, which has meant that a lot of old stuff has come up to the surface for you to work through and process. And it's just been quite chaotic and overwhelming. And it feels like in February, you're going to reach a level of emotional stability. You might, it's kind of like reach a healing milestone where you have a bit of a breakthrough in relation to your emotions, and as a result things start to just finally level off and you feel more emotionally stable than you have ever been, and certainly over the last while. It could be months, it could be years for some of you, where you've just felt it's been an absolute wild roller coaster ride, but it does feel like you're going to reach some sort of milestone and have a breakthrough which will bring through that emotional stability for you. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the emotions will stop coming up for you to clear and heal, but it just means that it'll be more of a smooth ride, let's say. It won't feel as overwhelming, it won't feel as chaotic, and it might also be because you are you're kind of like a veteran now at this stage, where you're more equipped with the tools. You'll become more aware of, okay, this is what I need to do, and you just do it, and you can bring yourself back into a state of regulation really quickly. You can clear your energy field really quickly. You can just bring yourself back into peace and harmony really quickly, this sort of thing. But it definitely feels a lot more emotionally stable for the month of February, which is excellent news, because I know on this journey it can get super turbulent, and it can be quite difficult to navigate through. So that's lovely news for some of you, just becoming more emotionally stable. Thank you. So the words I'm hearing are friendship and new guides. So I was just checking to see if like the guides were in spirit or if the guides were actually physical people. And I'm hearing that they are in spirit. So to be on the lookout for signs that a new guide is, what's the word? Extending an invitation to connect for you. So this can look a couple of, well, many different ways that guides can try and send you messages to get your attention. Like there's a new one that wants to connect with you. So I'll give you an example. One time I was in the post office, and the lady behind the counter just had this lovely jumper of you know that movie Lilo and Stitch? It was a lovely jumper of Stitch, that character, Stitch in that animated movie, on her jumper, and I just noticed it. My attention was just kind of like magically drawn, and complimented her on it, because it was a beautiful jumper with him on it, and that was that. I went out about my business, and I was going to catch the bus. And I happened to be behind a person just waiting in the queue to get on the bus, and on their bag was a little keychain, again with Stitch on it. And at the time I was just like, oh my goodness, what are the chances of seeing Stitch like in the space of 5 minutes twice? So I felt like, oh, there's something is trying to get my attention here. And I think it wasn't until, well, I think I twigged it right there and then that there was an energy that was trying to get my attention, that it actually looks exactly like that animated Stitch in Lilo and Stitch movie. It looks like that. There are beings that look like that. So someone on the team must have channeled this being coming through, wanted to make itself aware to humanity, this sort of thing. So it wasn't until later that I connected in and did the whole introductions and welcomed this new energy onto my healing team of light. So yeah, that's just a little bit of an example how the new guides can kind of get your attention. So it might be a couple of more signs that they just caught me on a good day. Sometimes it takes many signs before I twig, I make the connection, I put 2 and 2 together and be like, oh, okay, someone's trying to get my attention. But they caught me on a good day, so I was on the ball that day. It only took the 2 signs. But yeah, you will not miss it. They will keep sending those messages to try and get your attention until you actually make the connection, that there is an energy there looking to make a connection with you. It might necessarily be in that way, might be a different way, but there is a new guide there for you looking to connect. Again, it could be some energy that you are aware of, like dragons, unicorns, let's say, galactic energies. It also might be an energy that you have absolutely no clue about. Like, I didn't have a clue about, I call him Stitch, just because of the movie Lilo and Stitch, that sort of energy. Something that you are unaware of, and this is entirely new energy for you as well. But yeah, it seems like it's on a friendship level as well as a sort of a spirit guide, that they're coming in to extend friendship as well as guidance, to be a source of wisdom for you. There seems to be two levels there to the relationship, and it's up to you if you want to take them up on their offer and connect, and see how you go with that. But I think that's really lovely and exciting. I always love it when new energies reach out for me. Just one thing to note is to do connect in with yourself, check in with yourself, and see how the energy feels for you. If this is something that would be beneficial for you at this time, if it's feeling right, these sorts of things, it's good to just practice discernment as well, and to check in with yourself and see if the connection is feeling good for you. But yeah, such a lovely message. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, I'm also getting a message, something to do with colors. So I don't know if this is like a new part of your journey where you're starting like color therapy. Maybe you're doing some training in color therapy, or it could also be to do with, you're becoming more aware and conscious of what clothes you're wearing, and you consciously pick your wardrobe depending on the color because of that particular energy, because that's how you want to feel. Or you're learning more about colors because they have significance. So say to do like black, for example, I'm wearing black today, it's very protective, and it's a good idea if you're doing any sort of spirit work where you kind of have to do battle with the darkness, that you're wearing black for protection, these sorts of things. It seems like there's something along those lines. I'm also receiving messages from Spirit in relation to colors. So maybe a particular color is brought to your attention. You connect in with yourself and you ask what the message is. Or you can just pop online and you can ask for the spiritual meaning of that particular color and see what jumps out at you. And that's usually generally the message. Excuse me, clearing again. Excuse me. But there is something here in relation to colors. It might look different for everyone. But yeah, I don't know if it is, you're working, as I said, with that healing modality with the colors, if it's spirit trying to get your attention, using those colors to communicate messages to you. Or if it's about, your dressing, or you're just being more consciously aware of how you use colors on yourself, in your house, buying your car, whatever it is. But there is something in relation to colors, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you. Okay, so I was just checking in to see if there's any further messages, and it seems like that's it for the month of February. So there seems like there is very interesting things going on. There's a lot going on, lots of lovely things, lots of new things by the sounds of it, and then also the shadow work to be aware of as well. Do let me know if any of these messages resonate with you by leaving me a comment below. And other than that, thank you so much for being here, for tuning in. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.